to the Midnight Strike Through Mormons live stream. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by none other than the illustrious, the lovely, the beautiful, and the gorgeous Brittany the Shadow, and her, what do you call those cups?
My Yeti?
Your Yeti. Yes, can't live without the Yeti. You and all the other ladies on Instagram. Brittany the Shadow and her Yeti. And today we've got a really fun show lined up for you guys today, because today we're talking about this bombshell that just got dropped. Well, okay, for those of us that are familiar with secret combinations and understanding how the Gadiant robbers basically ended the civilization of the Book of Mormon, secret combinations are nothing new to us, but it sometimes is shocking seeing just how they do work when they're shoved in our face, just like James O'Keefe was able to shove BlackRock in ours and kind of unveil for many people that weren't in the know as to how American politics works. At least we are the most transparent country in North America, but boy, do we got a long way to go before we're back to where we were, and before we're anything close to being able to be called transparent, shall we say. So anyway, today we got a really fun show because we're also going to be talking a little bit about the Titanic sub that went missing, that has totally taken the internet by storm and become, what would you call this, the new Malaysian Airlines, babe?
Dude, this story is crazy.
Okay.
I mean, we'll talk about it, but there's just... I'm baffled. There's so many twists and turns to this story.
Okay, you're digging, huh?
Yeah.
It's got you baffled. All right, sweet. So anyway, we're going to jump right in. Before we jump in, going to just recognize everybody that you, everybody that's coming in the chat. Great to see you guys here, But yeah, let's dive right in. In fact, why don't we actually start out with James O'Keefe? Because I have a feeling you're going to have to sign Ryder up for soccer. So you're going to need 5 minutes on the internet to make sure that...
Yeah, in about 9 minutes, I'm going to have to
bow
out
So
really
we're going to
fast.
start out talking about this James O'Keefe bombshell, which I am absolutely loving, because just when the layers are peeled back and the rot is exposed, I absolutely love it. So we're just going to go over this really fast and let James O'Keefe, we're going to let him speak for himself. Here is James O'Keefe.
They don't want to be in the news.
So, actually, let's go full screen with this so that everybody can see. It's gonna be pretty intense here. So here is one James O'Keefe and his new OMG Media, because as you guys know, he used to be part of a group called Project Veritas. I mean, basically he was Project Veritas, but Project Veritas went kind of corporate and technically had some bylaws that could get him out. And there was a bunch of boomers that wanted him gone. So boom, they got him out of there. But he's now since started a new organization called OMG, which is, it's a... obviously a play on words, the O'Keefe Media Group, also known as OMG, that just released this one today that was pretty intense. Let's see what he has to say.
They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
Okay, so for those of you that are unfamiliar with James O'Keefe, he actually has an army of people that give him tips, okay? He was made famous as a very young man in his early 20s, exposing a group called Acorn, which was basically government-subsidized housing, okay, that knowingly helped him in multiple locations in multiple cities get public housing funds while literally openly portraying somebody who human trafficked and was going to use that property to human traffic in minors. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, the most heinous thing possible he was pretending to be, and all of Acorn in every single office helped him out, which blew him up, made him huge. I mean, Andrew Breitbart, who was probably one of the bigger independent media moguls of the time, just said, this kid's the future. He's got cojones. And he really lived up to it. Started a group called Project Veritas. Veritas obviously meaning Latin for truth, that would give whistleblowers priority in their stories, especially if they could get undercover audio or video. Now, of course, the legacy media that doesn't have the guts to pull off undercover investigative journalism anymore, or that doesn't like the narrative that the undercover journalism supports and exposes, they want to call it, selectively edited or, pseudoscience or whatever. But remember, these are the folks that said that cloth masks cured everything and that biological men are not men. So, yeah, it's wild what he's exposing. And for a lot of people that didn't understand about campaign finance law, this was a surprising thing. So he got one of his undercover whistleblowers to get some footage of this cat named Sergey Barley. All right. Recently. I mean, we're talking within the week, and this is what they came up with.
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians.
True.
You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people.
And he's actually talking about the campaign finance. He's not actually talking about trafficking these people. He's talking about buying them as your puppet.
I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through.
By the way, I don't want to be picky, but I do believe that it's Sergey Barley, but Serge, I mean, that works.
It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
Okay, so now this is a really profound claim that, oh, hey, you can buy your candidates. Okay, now everywhere they complain about campaign finance, and everywhere they say that, oh, so-and-so's in the pocket of so-and-so. And honestly, just like there's lazy learners that are anti-Mormons in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there are lazy learners in both political parties. There are bum loser Republicans out there that whenever they lose, they want to say, oh, it's George Soros's fault. When no, you just sucked as a candidate. Okay, you sucked and you were lazy and you didn't do your job and you've sucked for a long time. That's why you've lost seats, right? And there's also Democrats out there that don't want to admit that they're out of touch, that they're in the pockets of, 2 or 3 companies that once fallen out of favor or exposed, and they lose all of their financing, can't compare to the Republican candidate, and they get trounced. And instead of actually, admitting that they sucked as a candidate and they were lazy, they go out and they say, oh, well, racism, oh, bigotry, oh, hate, right? So they're just like there's lazy learners. Okay, there's lazy legislators, shall we call them? Okay, and they make excuses more than they make money sometimes. So when you actually have money, it's surprising how little it takes to be powerful in these people's minds. And so we've got the accusation right now of campaign financing being corrupt. Okay, cool. But then he's going to actually start giving details and numbers, which I think was pretty awesome. Before we go any further, Tyler Gordon, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, just hi and thanks. Well, just hi back, Tyler. And thank you to you for the super chat, my man. By the way, if you guys haven't had a chance yet, please like this stream. Let the YouTube algorithms know you like it, you appreciate the content, and you want more of it. Let's go, Sergey.
Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators. And these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator.
Okay, I can 100% attest to everything that this guy said right here. Okay, I could give you 5,000 right now, no question to ask. Are you going to do what needs to be done? Literally, 10 grand is the number it takes to own anybody south of presidential politics. I'm not kidding you. And it's the most pathetic thing. I actually served as a Republican in an elected position, okay? And one of the number one things I did when I went into the area I served in, and I'm not going to name names because I promised the owner of a certain radio station that I wasn't going to name names. You know what I'm saying? Because I developed a feud with a couple of these people that became a very widely publicized media feud, okay? So I'm not going to name names, but I will tell you, okay, that I was aghast at how little the party actually had in order to help out with the smaller candidates that really do matter, such as water board, such as school board, such as the people that are going to decide where the roads are built and so on and so forth. Some of these elections can be won for only $10,000 to $20,000. And you'd think with how much money there is in presidential politics that local political campaigns would just be a pushover for some of these parties, but they're not. And Republican positions, socially conservative positions, religious freedom positions are being lost due to lazy legislators that just bow down to people. Like we would have developers give $5,000 like 2 years ago and then walk around these like Republican conventions like they literally owned the place. Like anybody there would have to do their bidding and approve their project. And I remember looking at these cats and thinking, really? We sold ourselves out for $5,000 once every 2 years? Like, please. I'm actually surprised the American political system is not more corrupt, knowing the little that it takes to buy these people. Fortunately, the secret's not out about for how cheap you can buy senators and you can buy these people. But everything this guy says is 100% true. So we're going to go back, okay? And we're going to listen to those last 10 seconds again.
The banks, these guys want campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
Yeah, 100%. You can buy them. Let's see. Well, not all of them. And with that said, guys, not all politicians are corrupt. There is such a thing as good governance. I have met more good politicians in America that are serving for good reasons and are very aware of their position as a public servant. So do not get cynical. Let the love of Christ curse through your veins, baby, or course through your veins for even the politicians in this world, because there are good ones. There's plenty of good guys out there. And if you ever have desires to serve, do not let things like this discourage you from serving. In fact, you should be encouraged knowing that, hey, if I could fundraise for the Boy Scouts and that $50,000 youth camp that I had to get them for, maybe I can actually win a state assembly seat. Steve Diamond, thank you very much for your super chat. Says, my dad is listening to you guys for the first time. We love the show. We have laughed a lot. Stephen Diamond. We got Diamond Dave. We got Stephen Diamond. Geez. That's awesome. In Argentina, there's a really cool phrase that all the old people, not all the old people, but a lot of people say when they meet each other. Just like here, you might have an older gentleman be like, hey, give my regards to Elizabeth Taylor, and they think they're all funny. They both laugh like, ha, 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 because they both know they would never have gotten with Elizabeth Taylor. There's a phrase in Argentina where they say, hey, ¿cómo andan las diamantes, huh? And that's a way of saying, hey, how are the diamonds doing? Or how's the diamond business when you see one of your friends, insinuating that he's a baller, which I guess in America would be the same as saying, hey, how was that 2-on-2 game with Michael Jordan the other day or something? I don't know. It was a horrible example. But with all these diamonds everywhere, they may not be a woman's best friend, but they're a Midnight Mormon's best friend. Horrible dad joke. It was Father's Day. Let it slide. So anyway, glad to have you here, Stephen Diamond, and glad to have your dad here with us. Let's keep going. Listen to the exact numbers here.
Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing how cheap they are.
$10,000 you can buy a senator. I could give you $500K right now. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this to be done.
Does everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still gonna.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Okay, now it doesn't hurt that there's this super menacing angle with the uplighting that makes it look like we're filming a Bela Lugosi movie in the 1930s. But yeah, I don't know if they anticipated that, this undercover person. I doubt they're really worried about the angle. But this was about as good as the cinematography gets if you're going to try and pull off something like that. Diamond Dave, thank you so much for the super chat, says, did you see the links I tagged you in where Jesus is part of Hindu culture? They even refer to Jesus as a son of God, referencing Krishna. You know what? I'm not aware of all of the references, and I'm going to look at everything that you tagged us in, Diamond Dave, but we did do a video about a year ago talking about the Buddhist monastery, I believe it is, in India that claims to have had Jesus studying there in his lost 13 years between being a rabbi and having been a young man, and the legends that surround that monastery saying Jesus was there. So it's it's pretty cool, some of those theories. And I entertain and love every single one of them. So I'm going to check them out. Thank you very much for the super chat, Diamond Dave. Let's keep going here.
Who wins?
You're still gonna.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
By the way, it doesn't hurt that BlackRock sounds a lot like black water.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos.
Which, for anybody else, would be considered a human tragedy, but not for the secret combinations. Why?
Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit.
Okay, this sounds heinous, but every ounce of it is true.
War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages.
Okay, so I mean, literally, we've got an insider who self-proclaims, and who knows, maybe he was lying just to try and impress the girl, okay? But I mean, they've looked into this cat. He's there. They verified that he's a guy. He's a dude that's a shot caller, okay? He's not the shot caller, but he's not just some chump intern either. Literally talking about how BlackRock manages $20 million. Incomprehensible numbers, more than the GDP of some small banana republics, and how they literally get too big to fail by investing in all kinds of different aspects of the economy until they get so large that they become too big to fail. They actually become behemoths, dare I say, like Gaddy Anton Roberts, that can choose which judges live and which judges don't, right? And here's this guy out recruiting folks to do the dark ops with him, because that's his job. Now, ladies in the chat, do tell me, is he good looking? Brittany, would he be able to woo you into working for BlackRock? I think he'd be a much more effective recruiter. You know what I'm saying? Is he a good looking guy?
Yeah. Short answer, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like an emaciated villain from like some kind of Bond movie?
I mean, some people are into that. I don't know.
Really? You think he's good looking?
I don't think he's unattractive, no.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for this. That's surprising.
Was I supposed to say yes?
Ladies in the chat, how is this guy? Would you just fall into his arms as a recruiter and just become a BlackRock babe because of the looks of Sergey? This is, by the way, his life is just turned upside down, man. Chad Tyler, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, love the show. Would love to make you some bed music. When you say bed music, I think you're meaning music to embed in the soundtrack, right? Although, is that a music term that I'm just not familiar with and I should understand as a filmmaker?
You can make me a lullaby.
Yeah,
I love going to sleep.
Like, I think bed music means music that can be put in the background while you're playing like embedded tracks.
Sorry, I'm not that cool. I don't know.
Yeah, either that or else it's just music will go to bed. Yeah, boom, boom. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, I won't copyright that drum track, Chad. You can just have the boom, boom. Is that pretty good? Yeah, that was awesome. So between Sergey's face and my horrible soundtrack, we got it going on here. So anyway, I'm actually going to skip to the end here because this kind of blew my mind. All right. He says, okay, here it is. If you want to invest smart, there's a tracker that tracks all politicians and where they have their stocks. There it is right there. Have you seen the Nancy Pelosi stock trader, Brittany?
I don't think so.
Do I have permission to start investing in the same stocks that Nancy Pelosi does?
I mean, sure, she probably created everything, so yeah.
Do you remember that show, Sabrina?
Yeah, Teenage Witch?
Oh, no, not Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The one with Harrison Ford. And it was a remake of the Audrey Hepburn
one?
Yeah, there's the Audrey Hepburn original.
I've seen it, but not for a really long time.
Okay, so in the original Sabrina, the Audrey Hepburn one.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did in the remake with Harrison Ford, but in the Audrey Hepburn one, what happened was she went off to finishing school, and her father, who was poor, couldn't afford it, but knew she wanted to go, and sent her off, and she had a huge crush on this young, wealthy man that was the son of the man her father drove for. Because back then in the 20s and the 30s, you would have your driver if you were a wealthy person. And this attractive young man's father was one of the biggest stock traders in all of New York, okay? And as he drive to Manhattan from the Upper East Side where he lived, okay, and he was on his little radio phone doing stock trades and stuff, his driver there, who was getting minimum wage or whatever he was getting, would drive him. And that minimum wage driver had this cute little daughter that lived with him that kind of fell in love with the wealthy stock trader's son. And of course, you know, those two worlds, they don't collide. Rich people don't marry, you know, poor people. And she talked kind of funny and was rough and tumble while he supposedly was a little bit more polished. So he drums up enough money to send her to some kind of polishing school. She goes to a polishing school and comes back very sophisticated. And she meets the young man, and now I won't ruin it, but I won't give too many spoilers, but this spoiler you have to give because it is relevant to the situation, is ultimately you find out that minimum wage driver was a millionaire himself. And you're like, wait, how could he be a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
And how'd he do it? Well, he would just listen to the stock proposals of his boss. And he'd be like, oh, he says we should divest from DuPont today. Okay, maybe I'll divest. You know what I'm saying? And he started making small trades, but started making money just like his boss was making money. And he actually ended up being so good at it that he said, he was making more money off of his stock trades than he was just driving his car. And she said, why'd you stay as a driver? And he said, well, it's a job that allowed me to read my books. Like, I had time to read my books and I just wanted to read my books. So he'd do stock
I
trades.
can relate.
Like, yeah, you dig that, you know?
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's some dad out there who's just like some kind of volunteer professor at a charter school or that doesn't make a lot of money, but is just actually using the Nancy Pelosi stock trader app, which, by the way, a lot of people try and say like, oh, the American system is corrupt and so on and so forth. But they forget that, okay, well, the fact that we know about these trackers shows how much more transparent our system is than all the others. And before you guys all think that, oh, all hope is lost, politicians are horrible, everything that Sergey has said so far is true, including this horrible concept right here, okay? That BlackRock manages 20 trillion and they only need, I'm going to go back to it right here, they only need $5,000 to get a senator in their pocket, and
I thought it was 500,000.
No, he said 500,000 for anything that you want. Yeah, see, I could give you 500K right now, no questions asked. Are you going to do what needs to be done? That's for like the big stuff, but for the small stuff, look at that. First, they're senators. These guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator, right? So 10 grand, it's not the maximum campaign donation. One person, depending on the race, but I believe the maximum campaign contribution that you can give is $5,200. And so, babe, if you and I wanted to get cozy with a senator that was running for Senate, we could go to one of their overpriced fundraisers, and I could give $5,200, and you could give $5,200, or maybe I could give $2,700, and you could give $2,700. But from a pair, you can only receive a certain maximum donation. Okay, and it depends on what the race is. Maximum donations for school board are not the same as for Senate, are not the same for state assembly. So obviously, you're gonna have to go back and check with the SEC. All of the numbers we're talking here. But after that, you need what's called a PAC, a political action committee, which is what I think Mormons should have. Chat, is there anybody that's aware of a PAC, which is a political action committee just for members of the church? Because something that is missing from our conversation now, and I think we're going to do this with Nathaniel Givens this week, is we're going to talk a little bit of politics. Brigham Young he ran Deseret as a theocracy, straight up theocracy, okay? Back when things ran well, right? So, but he would actually tell people, you 10 go vote Democrat and you 10 go vote Republican in some areas where we wanted to maintain the neutrality of the church in order to quash some fears that outsiders had of the political implications of the massive emigration that was happening amongst Mormon pioneers. So it's very interesting. And most people don't realize this, but do you know that members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that if we all voted cohesively, we would be the third largest voting bloc in America? Think about that. I think the largest voting bloc was used to be like WASPs, White Anglo-Saxon Protestants. and then 13% of our population is the African American vote. Okay, the black vote. Turn that out. That's the reason why Democrats actually have consistently won, is because they've cornered 98% of that vote. And when you corner 98% of 13% of your population, that's a really, really solid starting point to have. And that's why they fear Donald Trump so much, because he peeled off so much of the black vote. Okay, well, with those 16 million members worldwide and 3 or 4 of them living in the United States of America, how many of them are over the age of 18? You're looking at a very, very strong voting bloc should Mormons vote together. But unfortunately, they don't. Half of us are convinced of this woke nonsense. I'd probably say 40% of us are Democrats, celebrators of all that is evil. And so we don't vote as a cohesive voting bloc. But if we did, I don't think these small amounts of money would have as much power here. I don't know. Did this land with you? What did you think of this whole story, babe? What did you think of this whole thing?
I don't really understand it.
What don't you understand?
Well, I was registering him. I only heard about half of what you were saying.
Oh, thanks. So here I was bearing my soul about, oh man, I'm always the one that's more into politics than you are, but that's fine. That's good, But I've thought about starting a pack, just like a family values pack of members of the church that only focuses on legislation and candidates that actually have to do with some of these social issues that affect family formation and family longevity. Because the biggest thing that you will ever have in your life, the most important thing you'll ever have in your life, is your family. And right now, all of our worst social issues are attacking family creation and family longevity. So I actually think that we should start a super PAC. Where is Richard Stafford when you need him? Oh, there he is in the chat. Speaking of Richard Stafford, says no PAC, but we call missionaries to be lobbyists. That'd be awesome. I actually think that's not a bad idea. Let me see. Chad Tyler, I saw another one there. Chad Tyler, you missed a super chat, babe. You're the keepress of the super chats.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You got glossy-eyed because I was talking politics,
Yeah.
But okay, so Chad Tyler says music for the show. Yes, Chad, I want music for the show, especially for the rebrand, bro, and some live stream intros maybe. So if you want to hit us up for that, I'm totally down. But are you done doing the soccer thing, babe?
Yes.
So we can talk about the missing Titanic?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about the missing Titanic now. As a segue, though, I have to make good on a campaign promise that I made yesterday. What did I promise yesterday, chat? I'm going to get something cool. If somebody guesses it in the next 30 seconds, okay? I've got one more of the vials from Israel with the oil blessed on the Mount of Olives, made with olive wood from Israel for the priesthood holding your life that needs oil for doing blessings. I got one more of these for somebody in the next 30 seconds that remembers from the live stream that we did yesterday what I promised I was going to pull up and then was unable to pull up because the file size was incompatible with my streaming software.
I know.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to give the chat 10 more seconds. No, it's not a rebrand reveal.
Remember when you almost revealed the name yesterday?
I did. I almost revealed the new name that shall not be spoken. You know what I'm saying?
That was scary.
So it got another 10 seconds in the chat. See if anybody recognizes what it was that I promised I was going to reveal yesterday. But yeah.
5, 4, 3. Oh, can't dance.
Oh, can't dance. Got it. Carl, can't dance. Okay, reach out on the website. You got it. I should be a stickler and say you're not a member of our channel yet, so you don't get it, but I won't. Because Can't Dance was the first to get it. Brad's commercial. Yes, it is indeed true. I finally had to dig up the pre-edited master because the master was done on Avid. It was exported in some kind of Dish Network or Spectrum cable format that I wasn't familiar with. But the regular MP4 is looking good. And here is Brad Whitbeck in his commercial.
With the beard.
Yeah, with the beard. So we're going to play it right now. We might have to stop once every 8 seconds for copyright violations. But here we go.
This is a sign. that you need better signage.
Oh!
Everything you print tells a story. Your banners, business cards, and brochures represent you. At AK Printing, our process is simple. Just turn in your order online and everything is taken care of in-house. Don't have a design? Don't worry. Our team's got you covered. And our turnaround times are a snap. Say hello to AK Printing.
Oh, there's Brad Whitbeck in AK Printing ad all over Los Angeles now. It's actually I think it's all over LA County. LA Metro and LA County. So it's kind of wild. You know, you go down to a Dodger game, you might see this commercial. You go down to the subway, you might see the commercial. My son was pointing out the other day. But look, Brad, there he is. Large in charge. He is officially cable famous now. That's Brad Whitbeck. You guys saw it here first. That was actually a really funny day of shooting. We'll actually give a little bit of BTS right here. Okay. But here's us on the day of filming. I got to direct that thing. That's his wife, Riley, that you might remember from a couple of podcasts last year. Okay. But it was pretty rad. We're all on set. We all got a film loaded up. They asked me to direct this thing, and they said, oh, we want some good, talented actors. And I said, okay, I got just the people for you. And we got him, Brad Whitbeck. Doesn't get any better. And you know what? Just because we already gave a shout out to Brad Whitbeck, we got to give a shout out to Riley as well. Okay. Here we're going to get a little glimpse of her commercial, and we'll see how that
Don't
one
let your
went.
business.
Oh, hold on a second. You guys are going to see Riley Whitbeck doing her thing as well. Here's Riley.
Don't let your business blend into the background. Stand out with AK Printing.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So now Riley Whitbeck also crushing it. If you come to LA and you ever want to see a live taping or something like that, you know, then we're just going to have to take you to the local Subway shop or to the mall, and then you can see our fellow Storm and Mormon actors crushing it right here. So let me see. Richard Stafford brings up a good joke. He says, I do AK Printing as well. ... Different market, though. You guys get it?
I don't get it.
Oh, you don't get it? What
No.
else? What else is an AK? An AK.
Oh, 47?
Yeah, you go,
Oh.
girl. See?
Okay.
You got it. You know, you're 3D printing the AK, you know. So we doing the whole libertarian thing, like, you know, the Second Amendment, you know, the just going flying under the radar because I'm a free man and the free men have the right to defend themselves. I'm trying to do a bad impersonation of a gangster from the 20s mixed with Cody. What's his name? He owns Defense Distributed, or it's a company that all the Reason TV guys are always interviewing, and he's kind of a big icon, shall we say, in the Second Amendment world, because he basically prints what many people he invented a gun called the Liberator that was the first gun that could be 3D printed, and then he also was the tip of the spear of the ghost gun movement, doing 80% lowers, now 100% lowers, which is a whole technical gambit that we can get into on a different podcast. But yeah, you know, it's official. Both Brad Whitbeck and Riley Whitbeck, they're famous now. So next time you see Brad, you just got to say, hey, bro, I saw your commercial and you did great. In fact, next time he's back, because he's filming right now a different flick. I think he got picked up for a T.C. Christensen flick. So I know that he's not going to be able to watch this live stream tonight. But next time he comes on a live stream, then you guys have to say, hey, I saw your commercial. I loved it. Because now, not just the people in Los Angeles got to see it, but the people here on Midnight Strike Through Mormons got to see it, you know? So anyway, Richard Stafford, yes, thank you very much, says Defense Distributed Go Host Gunner or Ghost Gunner. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. He's got a mill machine that does basically makes guns out of freaking thin air by like printing them. It's pretty wild. So okay, let's keep going, babe. This is your stomping grounds. Are you ready?
Yes.
So before I pull up the TikToks and the news articles, tell us what on earth is going on with this Titanic submarine.
Like, I don't think anyone really knows, but there's just so much to divulge here.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, what TikTok should you pull up first? Hold on.
Should I just dive right into all the ones you put in the Discord? Here, let's dive right
But
in.
some of them are like, I don't know. Just pull up one and
We'll just
from
go.
there.
So just
Yeah.
dive right in. Okay, so
Yeah.
we are diving right in.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a solid dad joke, Bert.
It was just Father's Day.
So okay, so here we go with our first TikTok.
Okay, not that. Actually, not that one.
Not this one.
Well, I mean, okay, we can. It's fine.
Okay, well here, let's just start out. We're just gonna burn through these really fast.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second. I was an idiot and I had it muted still. So here we go. One more time.
Breaking news, experts have given a 1% chance of survival for those on the missing Titanic submarine. A British marine expert said, quote, the margins of success are very slim indeed. It will likely be a 1% chance of rescue with them being found safe. If they survive, it will be like a Hollywood movie.
Which, by the way, let's not give up on these people yet. You can survive on bad air for almost as long as you can survive on the good air.
No.
Houdini did. So
Let's give a little background first.
Okay, well, that's what I was asking you for, was a little bit of background.
Sorry, there's so much going on in my brain.
Okay, so hit it.
Basically, there's this little tourist submarine.
Okay.
And it wanted to go and look at the Titanic, which is like 14,000 feet under the ocean surface.
Okay.
And it was $250,000 a ticket, and it could house like 5 people. So the CEO of this company that makes it, I believe it's called Ocean Gate, I want to say. So the CEO.
Yeah, it's Ocean Gate Expeditions.
Yeah.
Yep, here he is right here.
I don't think that's him.
Mark and Sharon.
That's not the pictures I've seen anyway.
A couple filed lawsuit against Ocean Gate CEO. Oh, this is the couple that filed lawsuit. Sorry. No, you're right. No, here's the sub.
Okay, so he's the CEO. There was like this British billionaire. There was like other billionaires and a teenage son, one of their teenage sons, which is really sad. Anyway, so they're sitting in the submarine. They paid $250,000 a ticket to go down in this little, someone called it a Pringle can, which...
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. But... So it went down. It's supposed to be like an 8-hour round trip. And I think it was like an hour and 45 minutes into the journey. They lost contact with it. And they don't know where it is now. And they're running out of air. I think they said by like Thursday morning, all the air should be gone. So they basically have like one more day to look. And it's just wild what's coming out. Like, it's literally a Pringle can. Like, they got, like, salvaged metal pieces. They got parts from Camping World. It's controlled. You're not going to believe this. It's controlled by a PS3 controller.
No, get out of town.
Yes.
Is somebody trolling?
It's fact.
Is somebody trolling?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe. This is where it gets wild. So there's one button on the inside of this submarine, okay? One button.
Okay.
And then with the PS3 controller, you can go forward, back, right, left, okay? Very rudimentary. And it can only be opened by the outside. So it's not even like they can escape. They are literally stuck in a Pringle can with some mismatched pieces with a PS3 controller. And a toilet is like a Ziploc bag. Like, it's just wild.
Okay, so we have a choice right now. We can go back to the fake news CNN article, or we can go back to TikTok. Which do you consider more trustworthy?
TikTok, 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So here we go. Oh, whoops. I did it again. I didn't unmute it. Here, we'll go over to the CNN article, but we do have to see a couple of these TikToks first, all right?
Calling this a Pringles can submersible is actually not that much of a stretch. We have to talk about the shoddy construction and questionable choices that led to this submersible being put in the ocean. I thought you guys were kidding, but now that I've seen how it was constructed, I would never get on this thing. A former Navy admiral likened this sub construction to like a kit car built from Amazon parts.
Dude, okay, so I'm in full support of anything DIY, and I'm a member of the Experimental Aircraft Association, and I'm down with experimental submarines. I've actually volunteered to go in a couple. I was not selected due to my height, unfortunately. But, you know, good engineering is good engineering. I have some friends that are engineers that have built some experimental aircraft and some experimental devices, shall we say, that would blow your mind and that I trusted. You and I just drove by the Jet Shark the other day that I would go in gladly. But
no, after this, no, I'm not stepping on anything that has to do with the ocean.
Okay, well let's finish here and how bad it was. Let's see how bad this was.
It's horrible.
Apparently, the lighting fixtures came from a camping store. There's basically just off the rack CCTV cameras and salvaged metal pipes for the ballast. And in my opinion, the very worst part is it's being controlled by an off-brand modified PlayStation controller. Literally, this is what controls this submarine that's supposed to go deeper than the sub.
What? No, there's no way that's real. There is no way a Pakistani billionaire is going to put his kid in a freaking submarine that is controlled by a off-brand PlayStation controller.
I told you this story is crazy. That's exactly what is on board.
No, this is...
Yes. Now, then my conspiracy theory side comes out, okay?
Okay.
Is this the media wanting us to believe that somehow for some reason? Like, who in their right mind would be like, yes, I will give you $250,000 to step into this Pringle can controlled by a game controller?
Yeah, now Richard Stafford
who would do that?
Makes a great comment. He says, I've seen drug subs made better. Now, he's a fellow Californian here, and he lives up in Humboldt County, which is supposedly makes the best WEED in the world, all right? And when you look at the drug runner subs that they've used to try and get around the Coast Guard flotillas that will interrupt you if you try and cross the border, they've tried seismically building tunnels underneath. They've tried coyotes getting across, but you can see those with thermal scanners. I mean, the DEA eventually catches up with the drug runners, right? So they finally tried making homemade submarines, the drug dealers did. And some of these homemade submarines that the drug dealers made were like kind of things of beauty. So here's a homemade submarine, dude. Like, this is some incredible stuff. I'm going to pull this down for a second so we don't have to listen to a commercial for the next 5 seconds. But some of these subs that are made at home by these drug runners are amazing. They found them in the jungles of Colombia, made in like the 70s, dude. So here we go.
Colombian authorities put on display a homemade submarine used by drug runners, which was captured by its navy. The semi-submersible sea vessel was carrying approximately 2 tons of cocaine chlorohydrate.
Dude, look at that right there. Okay, so they've got their own homemade sub. Okay, and this thing, dude, semi-submersible. It looks like they like fiberglassed and put weights down on one of those like racing boats. Okay, now this is one of the cooler ones. I'm going to show you one of the jankier looking ones. They have one that literally looked like.
Can we get back to Titanic because I have a lot to say.
Okay, fine. While I'm looking up me and Richard Stafford's drug running subs, you're gonna finish what you're saying.
Well, now you're not going to be paying attention.
No, I am paying attention. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Well, also it gets more strange. So the CEO, I don't know what his name is. You can look it up. But the CEO of this company, OceanGate, there's this interview where he's reading like the safety procedures and he's like, who has time for this? I'm just going to sign. I don't need to read. And he just like signs. And so it's like, ooh, like, did you know it wasn't safe or what? Also, there was a person that was working for this company who said, hey, I don't think this is safe. I don't think this can go as far down as you think it can. He brought up all of these things and they fired him. And I don't know how long ago that was. You can look it up. But yeah, it just seems like a little bit sketch, right?
Dude, okay. I found.
Also, I'm not done.
Sorry.
Also, this guy, the CEO, was sued a few months ago by a couple who claims that there was some safety feature that had gone wrong because they were on another one of his submarines or something. Anyway, so it looks like he was recently sued over safety measures. So is this just a plot for him to fake his death?
Okay, so this is the
I don't
couple
know.
that sued him before. That's what we established before. Mark and Sharon Hagel were on Blue Origin's 2022 space mission, Blue Origin Media. Okay.
Oh, they're suing because it was canceled? I thought it was a safety thing.
It says, according to the lawsuit, Mark and Sharon Hagel of Winter Park, Florida, signed a contract with Rush to go on a manned submersible dive expedition to the RMS Titanic on Cyclops 2. In November of 2016, Hagel's paid a deposit of $10,000 each, which they say was totally refundable. But after paying a total of $210,000 and seeing their expedition postponed many times, the lawsuit says they were unable to get a refund. And it alleges fraudulent inducement and violation of Florida's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act.
Okay, so you sued over fraud.
And so
Yeah.
It's not just the $250K that he got from the people that made it on board. It looks like there's other people that he left hanging and floating. No pun intended. It almost makes you wonder, is he staging this to get out of it?
That's what I'm thinking. Well, and also it's like, why are we just now learning about this sketchy company? Why are we just now learning about this sketchy submarine that is like a Pringle can in water? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe. I feel bad for that teenager on board. Like,
Well, you say how far down until it lost contact?
I don't know how far down it was, but it was an hour and 45 minutes into the journey. And it was an 8-hour round trip.
If you bailed out of a sub and you had enough scuba, scuba tank
you can't
can hold.
get out of it from inside. So it's bolted from the outside. You can't.
What?
Yes, you can't get out
They
of it.
bolted you in?
Yes, once you're in, you can't get out unless someone opens the
Oh,
hatch
hell
from the
no.
outside. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
hell no. That's like getting buried alive.
That's what I'm saying. And so there's all these different scenarios because they're running out of air, or they sunk, like it just failed. So they're sunk at the bottom of the ocean floor. Who knows how long the heater is going to run for? They're just going to die of hypothermia. They're going to run out of air, or they're stuck on the shipwreck. Like they got stuck and with their little Nintendo, whatever crap that thing is, they can't get out of it. Or they're just floating on the surface somewhere, stranded in the middle of the ocean.
So do you believe in the conspiracy that the original Titanic was sunk in order to get rid of the people that wanted to
100%.
oppose the Federal
JP
Reserve?
Morgan was super sketch.
You think JP Morgan, so how ironic maybe that there was a man who was saying we're going to take you for $250,000 each to go see the Titanic, who might be staging his own death in order to get out of the fraudulent claims against him?
Yes.
Okay, before you go any further, there's two super chats.
Okay,
Palace
fine.
1 says, was Joseph Smith murdered by respectable men? No, they were evil men that actually sounded a lot like the modern woke scolds and crybillies that we deal with in anti-Mormonism that say, we're usually respectful, we usually believe in the rule of law, but just this time we had to make an exception, which means they don't really believe in the rule of law. We've gone with historian Brian Stutzman to the original newspaper articles from the Warsaw newspaper, which was the town south of Nauvoo that the mob came from and also that hung out in. And these were people that self-identified as respectful but weren't. So no, they were not respectable people. And Ziploc, funny super chat, bro. I don't think I'm reading that one. Yeah, I don't think I'm reading that one on YouTube. But that would be if we were in a burn competition. I think people would give that more than a 5 out of 10 rating. So anyway, it says I would have been. Yeah, I don't know if I go that far, Ziploc. You know what I'm saying? I went back and I was like, I don't know if I go that far. But
okay,
you're a funny guy. Go back, Brittany.
Also, I didn't mention this. When you're stuck in the little submarine, it's not like there's windows or anything. You're watching it on a screen inside the submarine. You paid $250,000 to be in a submarine to watch Titanic photos on a screen. It's not even like you're seeing with your own real life. You're seeing it on a screen. You could have just stayed home, kept your money, and seen it through Google.
No, but there's something about being there in person.
I don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
a picture is a picture, and I don't need to be under the ocean in order to see a better picture.
Dude, okay. So anyway, we're gonna keep going over this. We're just
I have more stuff.
Oh wow! Okay, I haven't even gotten to the end of the first TikTok.
It gets crazier.
Okay.
Well, okay, you can go to the next TikTok.
Okay, let's finish the first TikTok. All right, and we'll see what she has to say.
Oh yeah, that was just a funny one, but
okay, so here we go. Oops. Again, I didn't have this.
You guys see this video from a journalist who went there last year.
Environmental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign? Oh! Wow!
Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible.
What?
yeah.
I feel like I'm camping in the back of a truck.
Yeah, it's not spacious.
Okay.
We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea. It's also the only one with a toilet, sort of. And yet, I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
Improvised.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, keep going.
What
Press
is
play.
the hull crush depth? Oh my goodness gracious.
Use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on!
Apparently, OceanGate actually fired a director who previously raised concerns about the safety of this vehicle, and they just replaced him with someone who would okay it. They didn't want to test it to prove its integrity because they thought that would take too much time and keep away from the adventure. They also opted against having the vehicle classed, and I don't know who the hell is spending $250,000 to go into this death trap.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness gracious. What?
That's what I'm saying. This story is crazy. It's absolutely insane, and I don't know what to believe. Like, why would anyone pay? Like, are rich people stupid? Like, do they not have people that are like, hey, you know what? I don't know, boss. Maybe you should have. Maybe you should stay.
Well, I know what James Cameron's thinking right now.
Oh yeah, this was kind of funny. Might be in bad taste because people or something. But I thought it was funny.
What?
Because James Cameron, you know, he did the Titanic. It's like, this would be a really good sequel. Like,
Wait, but why is he dancing?
because it's funny. It's TikTok.
Yeah, maybe a little too early, but
I said it might be in bad taste, but I thought it was kind of funny. Okay, now
Oh, man.
go to.
Okay.
I did another one.
Okay. Here
Okay,
it is.
yes, that guy.
Oh,
Press play. This is one of the billionaire's stepsons.
This is insane to me. Okay, well, here it is. Stepson of a missing billionaire on Titanic submarine shares he attended Blink 182 concert. It might be distasteful being here, but my family should want me to be at the Blink 182 show. Okay, fine.
Like, no, okay, we gotta go back to that.
Okay.
If your stepdad was missing, I don't even care if you didn't have a good relationship with him. Would you, A, go to the Blink 182 concert, and then would you also send out a statement about how you're going to the Blink 182 concert?
Oh, wait a second. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking if this was like a past concert.
No,
he's
going
there now?
Yes. His stepdad is literally missing in a Pringle can in the middle of the ocean, and he's going to a concert and then making a statement saying, my stepdad would really want me to be at this concert. So I don't feel bad about my James Cameron TikTok if his own family is going to a concert right now.
It's all stage. There's
I
no
know.
way
I
a
don't know.
son. There's no way a son would go to a Blink 182 concert.
That's why this story is crazy.
Either that or else that is the most heartless stepson alive.
I don't know. I don't know what to think with this story. I don't know. It's just there's so much coming out that makes my head spin.
What on earth? There he is. It might be just distasteful being here, but my family will want me at the Blink 182 show as my favorite band, and music helps me in difficult time. Oh man. Oh, dude. I don't want to be like Alex Jones and say like, oh, they're just crisis actors. You know, like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is either so tragic that it's unimaginable. We can't understand it until it happens.
Apparently our U.S. Navy can't even reach them. We don't even have subs, I guess, that go
It's a
that
mile
deep.
and a half down.
Yeah.
What was the hull crush depth of UB571? UB571, which was the U class of submarine in World War II. It's hull crush. You know what the hull crush depth is? It's the way you measure submarines. At what point the water pressure crinkles the hull.
Yeah.
And the entire
I mean, it might be imploded already. Like, maybe there's nothing to find because everything is...
Okay, German
know.
submarine U571 was a Type 7C U-boat built for the Kriegsmarine of Nazi Germany for service during World War II, conducted 11 war patrols, sinking 5 ships west of Ireland. The fictional 2000 war film has no relation to this U-boat, but is loosely based on the British capture of U-110 and her Enigma and cipher keys. Okay, so that's interesting. Fate was she finally was sunk and was destroyed by depth charges. Oh, it doesn't say exactly how far they can go underwater. Oh, here it is. Here it is. On Quora, apparently there's a historian who has testified on Quora, which is legit, of course. But it says the latest open literature says that the U.S. Los Angeles class test depth is 450 meters, 1,500 feet, suggesting a maximum depth of 675 to 900 meters, which is 2,250 to 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
So you got 3,000 feet. So a mile is 5,280 some odd feet, right? So how many feet in a mile?
Those
question
conversions
mark.
are tricky.
5,280. Okay. So you've got 5,280 feet in a mile, and military subs are sporting 3,000. Now, I get that this little Titan is much smaller. Okay, I get that. So, you know, that's going to help you to go even deeper, but I don't feel comfortable going a mile and a half underwater with
And
a mother.
You can't even get out. You can't even get out. You're stuck. You are bolted in.
Oh my gosh, I am so claustrophobic right now.
It's been causing me anxiety and like heart palpitations.
Oh my.
So I don't know. Maybe it's all just, you know, a big fake my death to get out of. I don't know. I don't know what the MO is.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, Chad Tyler, thank you very much for the super chat. And guys, if you guys have any comments, if you guys want to opine on this, if you have any super chats you want us to read on the show, please just reach out right now. This is wild. I can feel my heart beating. Chad Tyler says, awesome. What's a good email? I'll send some tracks. Hey, just reach out on the website. Actually, you can reach out on the website there. I'm not saying on a transcribed live stream my email so that every spam bot can scan it and then send me all kinds of different spam. But yeah, holy smoke. Chad Tyler, this is blowing my mind. And you know, hopefully your tracks blow my mind as well. Looking forward to collabing with you, my man. So, all right, okay, well, let's keep going over these TikToks because
That's all I basically have on that.
Well, there's Inside the
one.
Missing Titanic tour sub. This is the last one here. I can't even believe what I am watching. This, it's like when you watch those parkour videos of the guys that go to the top of the tower, and you just get fear of heights vertigo just
They're
watching
like
them.
hanging off and
you
then
know,
they flip.
Oh, I can't even watch those things.
Yeah.
So here we go here. Let's see. So
It's got one button, and that's it. Yeah, so we run the sub with this game controller. It's made by Logitech, but it's basically a Sony PlayStation style controller.
And that's the CEO.
If you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you press back. You want to turn to the left, it's like that. You want to turn to the right, you turn to the...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is there redundancy in engines? Like, do you think that at that pressure, your average underwater motor is going to just function? Or will it not just get crushed? The internal components just crushed. Sitting under 1 mile of water. Do you know how much that weighs? 1 gallon of water, which is only about 12 inches tall, weighs 8.43 pounds. There's
I read something-
5,280 pounds.
I think I read something. It was like 6,000 pounds from where they are.
You can't open your lungs to breathe under 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. There's no way there's no way multiple billionaires and millionaires signed on for this. 5
apparently
of them.
there's no sign waiver. Apparently you just get on.
So they're going to be able to be sued? Okay, let's finish seeing what this girl has to say.
She's basically just saying what we are saying.
Okay, so she's just given her
Yeah, she's
opinion.
just kind of like, what do you guys think about this conspiracy?
Okay. Wow. Holy smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, I hate to say this, but what are the odds of them surviving?
So an article came out. Experts are giving them a 1% chance.
Okay, I hate to say this, but I bet you this is so morbid. But you know one of the best ways to know the chances of somebody surviving something?
What?
Vegas has betting odds on it already, guaranteed.
Oh.
Vegas betting odds that Titanic submarine. I hope they do. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
They said it would be like a Hollywood movie if they do get out. Like
I would not. Okay, I'm not looking this up, but there's Vegas betting odds. Cody would know this. There's a website on what Vegas betting odds are, and I guarantee you that Vegas already has odds on whether or not this submarine is found or even survives or what. I'm just clicking on submarine for search results.
Well, and now apparently the Ocean Gate attorney is like super angry at the U.S. government because I guess the U.S. government was not going to do a search and rescue until Ocean Gate like signed a paper or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but there's no way I would step foot in that. No way.
I dude. Okay. Chat, is there anything that we missed on this? Because my mind is completely blown. Obviously, we're hoping and we're praying that these people survive. We wouldn't wish this on our worst enemy, all right?
Can you imagine the fear
Oh.
and the claustrophobia of I'm either gonna and it's gotta be so freezing, so dark. Like did the
I
lights
can't
turn
even
off?
think
Like
about it.
I've been having anxiety all day about it.
Oh, how horrible.
Right?
Oh
to
my
either run out
gosh.
of air.
But there's not a chain or a string they can yank them up with?
No, they're not like tethered to anything.
They only need to go 1 mile down. How many fail safes? Oh. Wait, there's no string on this thing.
No, they've completely lost.
Okay, guys, we only got 5 minutes
find
left.
it.
We're already 2 minutes into overtime, but I do have to look this up before they go. The missing submarine not tethered.
Yeah, they're not tethered to anything.
This, because we've seen a tour of the inside. I'm looking for a tour of the outside. But I mean, this is a commercial. I was about to say, what's a cat doing in this freaking thing? But no, it's a Chewy commercial. So we're gonna skip through this Chewy commercial really fast before we do our little outro here. But I cannot believe what I'm looking at. For those of you who are just joining us right now, okay, we are talking about all kinds of things today, but most importantly, right now we're conversing about the missing submarine that has a bunch of millionaires and billionaires kids on it, that unfortunately we found out is literally powered by a PlayStation controller and parts from Camping World and lights purchased off like Amazon retailers and things like that.
Bolted from outside.
That you are bolted into that is untethered.
Yes.
Over a mile of open ocean. Oh my gosh. Descartes, thank you very much for the super chat. Says the submarine story is pure distraction. We all know it. I guess I'll I'll go put on my tinfoil hat and go watch Intelligent Space Aliens in Northwest Vegas next. I mean, this is up there with, if not trying overtly to end somebody's life through trickery, I have no idea why a rational person, rational enough to make millions of dollars or be descendants of people that made billions of dollars, how 5 people could cram themselves into this thing. And
why would one of them take their teenage son? Like,
this is absolutely nuts. And the fact that they're trying to go see the Titanic, where there are open conspiracies and investigations into whether or not JP Morgan Chase had anything to do with the sinking of the Titanic, because some of his biggest challengers to the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank, which really enshrined the power of what is now Chase Bank, went down with the Titanic. So a lot of people think that he might have had something to do with it.
Oh, yeah, he did, because he had a ticket to go on to the Titanic, which was actually the Olympic. He just exchanged the names. So he went on the Titanic, had a ticket to go on the Titanic, and then at the very last minute, he bowed out. All of his opponents stayed on the ship. I mean, that's some crackerjack timing. That's some real good luck there.
Dude, oh man.
Yeah.
Holy smoke.
So I don't know what to think. It might just be a giant fake plot. It might be conspiracy theory, or rich people are really that dumb. I don't know.
Okay. Wow. Okay, let us know if there's anything that you guys thought we missed before we go, but we're already 6 minutes into overtime. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. I don't know how to end this, because my heart breaks for these people, okay? My heart breaks for these people. I've said it multiple times on this podcast, and I will say it again, that I would not wish this kind of ending on my worst enemy, whether it's through dying due to lack of oxygen, or imagine if somebody farted, just how bad it would be, let alone if air was gone.
Farting? What if you had a poop?
Yeah, so, okay, so the fear, the claustrophobia, whether it's lack of oxygen or whether it's hull crush depth, or hypothermia. I mean, without any kind of, they they redirect heat from the nuclear power plant to keep nuclear subs heated as they go underneath the Arctic. I mean, you're not just gonna go find the RMS Titanic that was sunk by a what? By a tropical storm in the Caribbean? By a class 5 hurricane off the coast of Hawaii? No, it was sunk by an iceberg.
Well, maybe not.
Oh, okay, fine. But I mean, this is I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I know people are going to start making Darwin Award jokes and stuff like that, but it is too early for me for that. Whoa. I hope they find these people. I hope they do, because just my heart breaks. I can't believe this. And I've said this 10 times. So anyway, we've done our hour. This is wild. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. As I said before, I see some of you guys have reached out on the website. I haven't been able to see all of the people that have messaged us yet so far, but there's 3 kind of open volunteer positions right now that we're looking for. If somebody can be a comic book artist that's a pretty solid storyboard or comic book artist that wants to help out with some creative decision making and some creative projects that we have going on right now, we'd love to hear from you. Also, if you're a writer, and also if you're a producer or a booker, we actually are getting to a point, fortunately, where people want to be on our show, and that also we want to invite people on our show, but I can't do everything by myself. Just running this ship without my PlayStation controller is already hard enough, and I could use the help of a producer or two. So if you guys want to get credit, you can actually get credit through FM 98.1 and actually get legit internship credit if that's something you're looking for in college, or if you just want to help out and get some copy and credit, looking to help me and a couple of the other guys that run this show. Danny Gray, I do believe I saw an email from you about 48 hours ago. Thank you. I will be looking over that. That's pretty awesome. And yes, Richard Stafford, Riley Whitbeck is a writer. But
hey, D Cards is saying we missed his super chat.
We missed Descartes super chat. Well, no, I thought
the aliens one. We read that one.
I saw Descartes super chat. Let me see. Yes, it's right here. The submarine story is pure distraction. We all know it. I guess I'll go put on my tinfoil hat and go watch Intelligent Space Aliens in Northwest Vegas next. Yeah, we got that one. We did talk about that one briefly. Descartes, thank you very much. Then there was Chad Tyler. Then there was Ziploc with his dark humor. Palace one. And yeah, Descartes, I think we got you, bro. We got you, my man. You might have to go back and watch it. But yeah, Chad Tyler, look forward to hearing some of your stuff. And Snagger, no, I didn't miss Descartes' super chat. I just read it again a second time, and we even talked about it briefly. So anyway, wow, let's all pray. Tonight when we say our prayers, even before then, let's pray for these poor families, because there's real, actual people on the other end of these relationships that are wondering where their loved ones
I'm
are.
sure he's praying from the Blink 182 concert.
Okay, maybe not that guy.
No.
All right, but there's plenty of others. Somebody's son and somebody's brother and somebody's husbands are down there right now. Let's all pray for these people that they do actually make it home safe and better decision making in our multi-million-dollar exploits. I don't know what to say. It's too early. I better not say anything, right? So, Mr. Joshua says, Carden, super chat, read it now. I did, and Descartes like, turn your mic up then. I couldn't hear you. Okay, Descartes, before I go, I'm going to read it a third time. The submarine story is pure distraction. We all know it. Okay, I don't know if it's pure distraction. Looking at this thing, I don't know who would actually sign up to put their kids on that just to distract from something else. But I guess I'll go and put my tinfoil hat on and go watch the Intelligent Space Aliens in the Northwest Vegas desert next. Obviously referencing the live stream we talked about 3 to 5 days ago about the aliens in the Northwest desert, which, that's a lot more fun of a topic for sure. So you got 3 super chat reads there, Descartes, 3 super chat reads. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Brittany, is there anything that we missed before we go?
Nope.
Okay. And Trey Stone says, he's the last one. I always read the last one. No, I do not wish that upon my worst enemy. And Chris Murphy's here. Hey, Chris came back. Rock on. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. It's been real and it's been fun, and it has been